Okay, so now we're going to start our fifth session of the day. Thank you for hanging in there. And by the way, I saw so many people said that they were going to contribute something to the journal. I was really, really excited. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so his presentation is Guerrilla Marketing and Other Unconventional Ways to Strengthen Your School Brand. It sounds very interesting. Okay, so Jeremy Lanning is an award-winning teacher director of Bingo Bongo Learning and Step-by-Step Eikaiwa in Kagawa Prefecture. He has a master's degree in mathematics and has a passion for art and music. He designed an effective EFL curriculum for Japanese kids. His unique method does not rely on playing games in classes. And he has a whole bunch of free downloadable materials on his website. And with that, we'll let him begin. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, just using this little headset here. Is the volume a little loud? Too loud? Down a little? Okay. Bring it down a hair? It's a little big, huh? So, all right. Well, I want to say thanks to everyone before me who's presented. I think we've got one more presenter after me, Simon. We're all looking forward to that. Lots of great information, and I'm really happy to be a part of it as much as I can. So today I'm going to talk about something, guerrilla marketing. What does that even mean? Unconventional ways to strengthen your brand. I have a couple of disclaimers that I want to make before I begin, or announcements, I should say. You can see that I changed into a suit, I put on a headset, I looked up some big words like revenue, expenses, so hopefully you can trust that I know what I'm talking about in terms of marketing. Actually, I really don't know what I'm talking about, so that to look forward to. Another thing I want to mention is with marketing, has anyone ever dabbled in marketing? Have you ever tried something? I'm guessing all of you have. You probably have something that works for you. You have an idea of what, especially if you've been doing it for a long time. What I'm going to talk about today is not something I think you should go out and try or do. I'm going to talk about what I've done and the ideas that I kind of implement when I do my marketing, my plans or my ideas. And so hopefully you can get some useful information from in that sense. Whenever Simon, if you've ever heard Simon talk about marketing, he always says that half of your marketing budget is wasted, but you never know which half. And I would like you to think about my presentation today as being 50% useful information, but you don't know which half of my presentation is actually going to be useful for you. So if you have ADHD, you'll have no problems. I have a lot of slides, and I'm going to go through really, really fast. I've prepared a worksheet for everyone to kind of use and follow along. The third page, I'm actually hoping that if you're willing, if you want to help out, this is a kind of an anonymous questionnaire after the presentation, and I would like to compile the information that other schools have submitted, and I would like to put that together and put it online just so that other schools can see what new schools, experienced schools, kind of what the consensus is or what the ideas are behind marketing and what skills you should have. So, page one, we're going to kind of follow through this. You can see at the top it says Guerrilla Marketing, presenter Jeremy Lanning. And then there's some little things you can fill in if you want as we go. So, I think that is pretty much everything I wanted to say. By the way, what is guerrilla marketing? Can anyone tell me like an example of guerrilla marketing that you have heard or seen or Anyone?
Viral videos?
Viral videos! That's what I think of when you think of guerrilla marketing.
Signs on shops, opposite Christmas displays in department stores across the road.
Okay, so signage, yeah.
Unconventional marketing?
Yeah, anything. So what is unconventional marketing like?
Well, like not different from the norm.
Okay, yeah, so just alternative, unconventional. Exactly, and so there's a lot of ideas. I'm sure if you use Facebook, you've seen just an insane amount of guerrilla marketing. You've seen flash mobs, you've seen the ice bucket challenge. These are all types of guerrilla marketing. They're all alternative marketing, and I'm not going to talk about those because we probably can't do that. These are done by massive corporations with giant budgets and experts, which I'm not in the field of guerrilla marketing. So the ideas I think are there, but those things are really, really hard, and sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. Has anyone ever got one of your videos to go viral? I mean, I don't know, maybe you have, I haven't. It's a hard thing to do, and I'm not going to say you should get a viral video. That would just be ridiculous. So, all right, let's jump into my presentation. So today, Maybe you're thinking, who are you? My name is Jeremy Lanig. I'm from America, and I came to Japan in 2006. I've been here about 12 years. Didn't speak a word of Japanese when I got here. Didn't really have any hobbies other than taking pictures. I had a camera and did some skateboarding, but anyway, so where do I work? My school is called Step by Step Eikaiwa. I was on the JET program and they kicked me off of that delicious gravy train, and so I thought, I gotta do real work. This is gonna be hard, and so actually the situation to start a school fell into my lap. I was really lucky, but I found that opportunity and I exploited it, took advantage of it, and basically took it to where it is now. Anyone know of the prefecture Kagawa? Have you ever heard of Kagawa Prefecture? What's Kagawa famous for? Udon. I heard something else. What is it?
Typhoons.
Typhoons? No, we're safe. We're protected from between the Seto Inland Sea and the mountains. Typhoons never have serious damage. We have very few earthquakes. It's a safe place. Come visit. If you do come visit, you're going to see this. This is basically Kagawa's claim to fame. Except recently, like a week or two ago, we got in the New York Times, like, Seto Inland Sea is the top 59 place to visit. Anyway, this is Sanuki Udon. There are over 600 shops. It's really good. Why is this relevant? This to me is worth more than gold in terms of marketing, and I'll explain that as we move along. So, by the way, I'm talking about marketing, and so what better way to talk about marketing than to market my products? So it looks like a little bit of a shameless self-promotion, but I'm gonna tell you about what we do in our school, why my school is cool. We, like I said in the introduction, we don't play games. For the first 5 years, when I started my school, I didn't have a lot of Eikaiwa experience, but I invited a teacher with experience. He came in and he's like, well, in my old Eikaiwa, we used this book, we played these games, and we did this and that. And so I go, let's do it. And for 5 years, it was kind of this lesson style we had, and it was working. We were getting new students, but it didn't really feel like I was accomplishing the goals I wanted. And so about a year and a half ago, we just revamped everything. We restructured our whole curriculum, and we do everything in-house now. All of our curriculum, all of our flashcards, all of our books, all of our worksheets. We have these things called curriculum cards we give to all of our students. These are really cool because the teachers, the students, the parents, everyone knows every 4 lessons what is being covered. It's easy to teach. The parents know what CD track, what DV track the students are supposed to be listening to at home, so everyone can get involved, and it's really just easy to use. And I'm not trying to sell this to you. I don't think anybody here is probably going to want to buy it, or everything is for free. But I don't think you guys are going to want to use it. But my point is that the more time you spend on getting your product just amazing, you want an amazing product that you can show to your customers, and it's going to be really important for my talk. So we have these little profile cards the kids use for 1 year. We have worksheets that are all in color, really fun. They develop critical thinking and challenge the kids. And then starting last year, we started publishing these 320-page, we call them fun books. And they're great. We give our students up to 8 pages of homework every day, and they do the homework every lesson. It's great. So, what does this have to do with marketing? All right, let me get to my point. First, can I say Happy New Year? I think it's Janina, right? Is that, no, sorry. What is it? Janina, I'm sorry. So her talk had actually some common threads to what I'm talking about today. And I want to say Happy New Year. And so you can see this little 1 here. If you look at your worksheet today, number 1 says Happy New Year. What are you planning to learn this year? Anybody have a New Year's resolution you've already given up on, or you're planning on doing? All right, so while you're listening, while you're thinking, please think of some skill or something you want to learn this year. If you think about it from kind of a business owner's point of view, that's probably even better, since that's the topic of the day. So I'm going to tell you what I learned last year. Here's my answer. I learned how to take a skeleton building and convert it into a boutique classroom. So we've got an adult section, a kids class. We did not outsource anything. We have a team of, really it was me and my wife who did all the design and the hard work. We had a couple of our staff come in and help us out. This took about 2 to 3 months, working every Sunday and Monday, all of our days off basically. I learned how to build walls. I learned how to hang wallpaper and install windows. I learned how to Yeah, do signage. I learned, really, I had none of these skills. It's me on YouTube, and you're gonna mess up. And like Janina said, you get an idea, just run with it. I mean, you can stop and go, okay, that's really difficult. What if I make a mistake? But there's, I think, a lot of value to trying and failing and learning. So anyway, I learned how to do that. After that, it was such a cool experience, a cool feeling to have my own like classroom, a brand new shiny classroom. We went in a different city and we destroyed a restaurant. We took the entire building, we smashed all the walls, removed all of the kitchen, the appliances, the oven, destroyed it, and then rebuilt it into basically the same format with more classrooms and a huge office. And that was all done with a staff of 5 people, all on our own, learning as we went. The only thing we outsourced for this location was the air conditioners. I have no idea how to disconnect or reconnect an air conditioner. But I could probably learn if I had enough determination, right? Okay, so these are the things I learned. What else did I learn? I learned how to do, I learned how to use 3D software. I don't know, it's kind of cool that you can do all this stuff in a computer and generate all of this without actually taking pictures. So these are things I just want to do, have fun. I learned how to trademark a brand. Thanks, Simon. Last year I came here and found out that my brand was very similar to another existing brand, so we rebranded and trademarked. So if you want to use the name Bingo Bongo, or as it was mistaken today, Bingo Bong, that's not our learning style. It really is Bingo Bongo, so remember that, please. Okay, what else did I learn? I learned how to break a cello. I learned that if you put a cello on a table and it falls over, it's going to break. So if you have really expensive rental classical instruments, be careful. All right, so this year, what am I going to learn? I guess right now I'm thinking I should get all of our Excel files in the cloud. I should simplify and streamline all of our scheduling and stuff like that. It's a lot of work, but again, I'm going to learn how to do it, and I'll try to do that this year or in the next couple of years. Maybe I'll learn how to fix a cello, and learn how to use PowerPoint. You guys know how to use PowerPoint? It's that little paperclip. It always tells me what to do, and I just don't know. I can never figure out Word or printing Excel. So maybe I'll learn PowerPoint. Great, so, like a double rainbow, what does this mean? Nobody knows. All right, so this is maybe one of the first viral memes from, well, not one of the first, but maybe about 10 years ago, some guy was on the forest on mushrooms, maybe. He's like, oh my god, a double rainbow, what does it mean? So today, we're here to talk about marketing. So please look at number 2. I have a question for you. What options do business owners have when confronted with a necessary task they don't know how to do? I'm guessing it happens every day for business owners, every month, every week. You want to do something new, there's a lot of things you don't know how to do. So what are your options when you're confronted? Anyone?
Outsource.
Hey, that's great. Outsource. So let's outsource everything. Does anyone have an unlimited supply of income? And obviously if your income is greater than your expenses, then that's great. You could probably outsource and slowly build that revenue. That'll work. So it's definitely an option. Another option, you can copy someone. Everyone else out there is, using Facebook, using Google Ads. People are, flyering, putting stuff in the newspapers. You can copy someone. For me, it's been somewhat effective once in a while, but it never feels good, and I never feel like I'm really, really marketing to the best of my potential. You can do it yourself. In case you haven't guessed, that's my approach. I will just try anything, just to say I learned how to do something new. Or you can give up. And if you give up, then I guess there are more students for the others of us who are sticking it out. So really, 1, 2, and 3 are kind of the options we want to think about. Okay, so let's actually start talking about marketing. I think about marketing in kind of 2 categories. They're really arbitrary. These are just my own random ideas. So you can see on number 3, you've got 2 ways to think about marketing. They would be temporary marketing or permanent marketing. All right, so let's start with some examples of temporary marketing. Anyone want to blurt it out? Flyers, posters, Facebook. I should say Facebook when you pay to promote stuff. Google Ads. Anything else?
Events.
Events. Those are pretty temporary. Yeah. Anything else? Whatever. I'm not really interested in them, so let's skip it. All right. Flyers, posters, inserts, Google AdWords, events. Events are kind of a tricky one here. Let's just point to it. Events, you could maybe argue they're one way or the other, but anyway. There's probably a ton of stuff out there. It's temporary. Yeah, it's easy to find. So, so what then do I want to say next? Let's move ahead. So we've got temporary, and let's talk about the benefits and drawbacks of temporary marketing. I'm sure there are actually other benefits. I'm trying to be a jerk and make it look really negative so you guys give up and stop doing temporary stuff, but you can get some students sometimes. It's expensive if you do like newspaper inserts. And you know, you sit by the phone, you just wait, okay, I've got one day that this insert's gone out and I've got 20,000 people that saw it, and you just wait by the phone and next day, like, nothing. So, I'm sure maybe you've had better results. Depends on the flyer, depends on the time of year, depends on, you know, the weather, who knows? So what are the drawbacks? Maybe it's expensive. That's really an arbitrary expression. I don't even know what would be expensive, what would be cheap. Boring, again, that's, you know, it just depends on you. Unoriginal, whatever, if it works, you know. If you've got something that's working and it's kind of slow and steady and you're getting students from it, yeah, I would stick with it. I'm not saying this is what you should do, but for some people, it's just not quite, I don't know, satisfactory. And of course, it's temporary. So now, let's look at some terms that I vaguely looked up. I looked up on the internet and vaguely know. So you hear these things like ROI, return on investment, or you'll hear things like return on marketing investment, ROMI or ROMI, I don't even know if that's a word, return on advertising spend, whatever, ROS. So basically, by the way, I studied math, but I hate numbers, in case you didn't know. So I'm going to really just simplify this. We've got the money we got and the money we spent, and you divide it by something and you get this percentage. The bigger the percentage, the happier your company is. Just think of it as you spend some money and you get some money, and you want the money you get to be more. It's I think pretty clear in terms of marketing. So the first speaker today was, I'm sorry, I'm drawing blank, Mark? Is it Mark? Matthew, oh, Jesus, I'm gonna just mess up everyone's name today. Okay, so he was giving us some statistics about just kind of, you know, how long students will maybe stay or the decline. I was doing some research and I also found some statistics to see, well, you know, you think, okay, but Jeremy, I spend $1,000 on marketing and I get 2 students, and those students are gonna continue from 3 years old forever, and then I'll have an, you know, just infinite amount of money. And then I was researching, and it turns out that this statistic is probably pretty accurate. The percentage of people who have died or will die at some point is 100%. People who will live forever is 0. Margin of error is 0.0%. So nothing is really infinite when you think about revenue from your students. Sorry, that's a bad math joke. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into permanent marketing examples. Any ideas of permanent marketing examples?
Signage.
Signage, logos. Anything else?
Legends.
A legend? Is that like Kukai? Like what kind of legend? Like samurai legends? Yeah, that's good. Okay, that actually, I can tie that in to the next slide. Anyone else? That's it? All right.
Blogs.
All right, it's a sorry?
Multinational.
Multinational.
Become a household brand like Band-Aid.
Sure, yeah, you get your name to become an actual verb in the English language or an adjective or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna Google that after this lesson. There's really, I can't tell you what they are because there probably are just anything you wanna do. But I'm gonna say first and foremost, word of mouth. This is what Simon said, if you're a legend, your kids are gonna pass on this, I had this teacher, he was so great, and they're gonna keep passing that on from generation to generation. You are a legend. That word of mouth advertising is your strongest type of marketing. I think it goes without saying, if you wanna debate it, that's fine, we can do it after over a couple of beers, but I'm gonna say after that, it's gonna be your website and your blog. So I'm gonna, just to talk about word of mouth advertising, really your product, if your product is solid, if it's awesome, that is gonna sell itself. So I have some students who are hairstylists. They're studying English for their own clients and stuff. A pet trimmer, and we talk about business a lot in our English lessons. It's really fun. We can talk about business and get some hints, and I can share my ideas. And I ask, how do you advertise? And they're like, we don't. And because a hairstylist, once you cut someone's hair, they walk out of the shop, and they're just a walking advertisement. All right? So anyone goes, oh, where'd you get your haircut? Oh, I went to the shop. Yeah, he's a friend of mine, blah, blah, blah. So word of mouth is really, really powerful. I think in any industry, any business, your product has got to be top notch. And if it's something to talk about, people are going to talk about it. So that would be the, after you leave here today, like just make sure you can have this awesome product. But with English lessons, like how do your students go out and speak English around, town? They probably don't. So, I mean, we gave our kids all little bags that say step by step. But what we do with our kids' lessons is we take videos twice a year, we show their improvement, and we have a dedicated website, a page for each kid on our website. So the parents can log in, put in their password, and then if they start when they're 3, they'll have, actually we're gonna start doing videos at the age of 6. But anyway, they'll have a chain of videos and they can see progress. And these videos they can share. So things like that. If you can somehow present your product in an easier format for parents, for your students to see the progress and to talk about it, that's gonna be really good. But that's not guerrilla marketing. Next, homepage, blog, whatever. So next, songs. If you can get a viral song, get a viral video, that'd be sweet. Write a book. Books are pretty permanent, I think. Mass media, is that permanent? All right, TV, if you're on TV, if you're in the newspaper, it's not permanent unless you put it on your blog. Okay, so make a record of it. Hopefully it's a newspaper that has an online version, and once it's on the internet, it's there forever, in theory. So, the website and the blog, these really, we don't think of them as maybe permanent forms of marketing or alternative marketing, but they are really important. And I don't have a lot of time to spend on them, but I'm going to actually talk about them a little bit. So, permanent marketing. They're cost effective. It's infinite profit. And we saw if your students, everyone's going to die, so that can be finite. But if your advertisement, if your marketing, lasts forever, that's infinite profit, I guess, in theory. So here's something that I really enjoy about permanent forms of marketing. If you're writing a song, if you like songwriting, there you go. You're doing your hobby as something for work. And that just makes my job much more rewarding. And it gives your brand a personality. If people can see you or your product in more depth than a flyer or a little advertisement, I think that's a pretty big benefit of permanent marketing. So the drawbacks. All right, it requires time. Sure, everything does. Skills. You need skills to do things. Well, if you aren't willing to learn new skills or try new things, running a business is probably going to be a little bit challenging. And maybe it requires a little creativity, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. And so some people say, well, no, look. I could just... Let's talk about flyers. I'm going to go back to temporary. So I hear this a lot, like, okay, I don't know how to do any graphic design, right? I don't have that skill. And for me to become a proficient graphic designer or to learn Illustrator or Photoshop, it's going to take a long time. But, so they say, okay, well, you could just pay a graphic designer and then you get a really high quality flyer, and then, you'll save more money than if you try to do it yourself over a span of 4 years of just making really crappy, inefficient flyers. I did the latter. I made really bad flyers for about 4 years. And after about 4 years, the quality started to get better. And I was like, hey, you know what? I'm starting to get the hang of this graphic design. So if you don't have time or you don't want to learn, it's fine. You can outsource. But if you are willing to take the time and fail and learn, you're going to get a new skill that you can apply to other things. So this is just, again, this is my approach and my thinking. All right, so now let's talk about infinite profit that we're going to get from permanent marketing. Well, money gained is infinite because that marketing, you spend some money, you spend some time, you get that song or that book or that sign, and it's there forever. And so that means you really will get infinite money, and you only have to pay a little bit of time or money for it. So we talk about permanent or alternative or guerrilla marketing as being more cost effective in terms of marketing. But then you say, Teacher, infinity isn't really a number, it's a concept invented by John Wells in 1657, representing something endless, unlimited, or without bound. But anyway, I'm not really a math teacher, I'm a fake math teacher, and it's surprising that people didn't even talk about infinity 400 years ago. I think they were infinitely stupid back then. So, now, let's talk about permanent marketing, my approach. There are 3 things I always think about when I come up with not even a campaign, something I want to do and somehow tie it to my school. Is it free? All right? Is it useful? Or is it awesome? If you can get all 3 of those, then it's like bingo, you're going to be happy. So, these are the things we're really striving for when we set up a marketing campaign or doing these permanent marketing. Okay, I want to talk about blogging and I want to talk about SEO. You guys know the letters SEO, I hope. So anybody not know? It just means search engine optimization. Yeah, so people are going to Google search and hopefully your school comes up on the top page and you get a new customer. All right. So what I want to do is I want to show you a video that I think is really cute. We'll take a little puppy break, you can see here. Let's take a puppy break.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. And when I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. And I would walk 500 more just to be with who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
Okay, so it's this is a really expensive commercial. This commercial probably cost $32 million. Roughly to air during the Super Bowl. Okay, so why would a beer company make a commercial with a cute dog that's getting rescued by this guy and have nothing to do with beer? It's very different than Japanese commercials in general. I would say you see a lot of people pouring the beer in, but so what is happening here? You're creating an emotion for the viewer. And so this emotion is first I'm sad, and then I'm happy, and then I'm relieved, and then I see the brand. So what's happening is I'm associating something I wasn't really looking for. Sorry, the brand wasn't something I was really looking for. People don't go searching Google for Budweiser, what's a good beer? You don't search for that. But what they do is they show you something that maybe you were wanting to see. You want to see dogs, you want to see cats. Then you see the Budweiser logo come up. And guess what? That emotion, and just, oh, Budweiser, hey, they make funny commercials, they make cute commercials, they make great commercials. So this is kind of the idea that if you want to try some new style of marketing, this is one thing that you can do. So, when I write a blog, I don't write, hey, this is what I had for breakfast, hey, look at these pictures of my Halloween party. I think, okay, what is free? What is useful? What is awesome that my target market is looking for? Okay, so I'm going to show you some of the blogs I've written on 2 of my websites, and I'm going to show you some of the Google Analytics, talk about the numbers and what they mean and why they're important overall. Hopefully I didn't kill all of my time. So, like I said, get your target market, get your target audience. Think about what they're looking for, right? So what happened this last year, I thought, hey, you know what, I've got a lot of students. I also teach at a junior high school, but we do a lot of speech contests, and I thought, hey, maybe other people might be searching, like how can I train, how can I practice, how can I win a speech contest? So I thought, that's related to Eikaiwa, and maybe somebody will search for that and then find my company and my services based on that. They're not searching, local city name, Takamatsu, Eikaiwa. Everybody's trying to do that. So you're good at battling for the top page, and if you're not in there, you've wasted your time. But who's written a blog like that? I research. Nobody. Hey, I'll write one. Okay, so I thought, all right, let's write about how to win a speech contest, how to train for a speech contest. Then I choose keywords. This is really, it's counterintuitive to writing and good writing, but when you write blogs, when you write for the internet, you have to think about your Lord Google. Google has a really, really strict set of rules that if you don't follow them, you're going to be out of the top page. And again, you've wasted all your time. So we're going to choose keywords. And now with choosing keywords, you can't just choose words like cat, cute, because there are a million pages and they might not even be in your local area. So I thought, okay, how to win a speech contest in Japan, junior high school students. You set a list of 3 or 4 keywords, get really specific, do some research. What words are coming up on those searches? And if you think you've got a chance of getting your website in there, that's great, because then if somebody searches for that, Okay, my kids now got a speech contest. How can I train for it? They find your school. This year we got a bunch of new private lessons wanting to learn how to, win their speech contest. So we picked up a bunch of students based on that blog alone. And there's a lot of other good things that came out of the blog. And then you've got to write the quality blog once you've decided your topic, once you've decided your keywords. Now here's something that's really unfortunate. This is not a typo. 5 to 10 hours, I typically spend 15 to 20 hours on a blog. Google knows when you're cutting corners or when you're just, if you just, oh, guess what? I like cats, cats are cute. Okay, you're not gonna get it. Google's goal is to make sure that the internet is filled with useful information, of course free, because their search engine is free, but it's gonna be useful and it's gonna be organized in the way that they think is gonna best propagate information effectively and according to their standards. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about Google Analytics. If this is just random numbers and boring, I apologize, but let's jump in. And again, it's my own personal websites, and I did mention that this stuff is all going to be on my website, all of the slides, so if you take pictures if you want, but just remember, in 2 days it'll be up on the interwebs. So, bingobongokids.com, we rebranded, and so this website is less than a year old. And I'm showing you a random segment from January 6th to January 12th, 1 week from this year. January is not really an exciting month in terms of lesson planning, new students, but anyway, it'll give you an idea of kind of what we're doing. 11,000 page views. That's not actually very interesting. I don't know if it's a big number or a small number. I'm sure you probably have numbers that are much higher, but, and I personally don't like page views. I like to see what pages people are landing on. That's telling me which blogs, which topics are effective. Okay, so number one, my account. Our website, you have to become a member and subscribe, and you get everything on the site for free. You can download anything you want. So then the first, number two, is going to be free. ESL, EFL, English flashcards. Those are my keywords. That's the title of my blog. That's the title of my URL, and it hits usually in the top, the first page of Google. Now, if I wrote the blog for free flashcards, never in a million years. If I wrote free flashcards or some combination. When you start, you really have to get super specific, because if you're too vague, there's people who've already beat you to the punch. Everyone knows how SEO works. We're the only ones that don't, if we don't. All right, so number three, free phonics worksheets. All right, so free phonics worksheets, ESL, and then I got kids classes in there. So again, I'm really being specific with my keywords, but they're hitting and they're getting results, and our page is growing. So I don't think this really is super informative or useful for running an English school, but this one is in English. Now I'm going to jump to my step-by-step-eikaiwa.jp. The more you study SEO, the more you'll understand why I have a JP account or URL, why this is all in Japanese. But your viewers, if you are teaching English in Japan, are Japanese. Probably Japanese native speakers. So everything has to be in Japanese. Google wants the site, everything to be in Japanese. If you have English and Japanese, you've watered down your keywords. There's a lot of really annoying little rules that Google implements that if we don't know them, we're just wasting time. Okay, so number two, this is staff and teacher introduction page. This is very rare for this page to be number 2 on our list, but there's a reason for it. I'm going to get to if I don't run out of time. So then number 3, it's our high school and adult classes, then our sign-up campaign, then we've got speech contest, how to practice and win an English speech contest. That's our number 5 our viewed page in terms of page views in this week. How to make paper hats for kids. So we do a lot of fun crafts in our class. We'll do 3 pretty hardcore strict lessons, and then the 4th lesson we'll do an activity or a craft, not a game, but we do fun activities and try and have kids use English as they do the crafts. So these crafts, we try to invent them or at least make our own versions of them, and we write a blog about it. And again, it's helping our website get a lot of views, a lot of hits, and even if people who are looking for hats, paper kids hats, aren't in my area, Google still sees that my website is providing useful information, and that's going to give my website more value, or it's called SEO juice in the world, I guess. The young kids are calling it these days. Okay, so again, I'm not going to have a lot of time, so then our 11 pages, contacts, and then here we've got free phonics flashcards. So So again, is it free? Is it useful? I'm not talking about our Halloween party or my trip to America. I used to write that stuff, and guess how many views I got? 0. Nobody cares. I'm sorry. I mean, we care about our stuff, and our kids probably care, but when somebody goes to a website looking for something, if that's not what they're looking for, they're going to be out of there in less than 10 seconds. So, I mean, it's cool, but if you want to try this approach to blogging, this has been working for us, so this is kind of my recommendation. So I'm going to just blast through these. Watashi ga Nippon ni sumu ryu. All right, this is a TV show. What's going on here? We'll get to that in a second. But something is people are finding out about us or me and coming to our website because of that. So we're doing this alternative marketing, all these things outside of the school, but we have the blog, we have the website, and that's our home base. Whenever somebody finds one thing, they come like, who is this guy? And then they'll find more articles. And when you do the things that I do, if you get into mass media, it is really like a chain reaction. One thing will lead to another. So, SEO 101, yeah, it's not gonna happen. So if you look on your worksheet here, you've got number 6. Do you have a blog? Yes or no? That's something for you to fill in. Does your blog meet the guidelines? On your blog, do you have free stuff? Do you have useful stuff? Do you have, I forgot the third thing, awesome stuff? If not, then that's something that maybe we should be thinking about when we write blogs. All right, I'm going to talk about this blog that I wrote. So here is the actual website, the blog, and here are some points. This is a super fast crash course in SEO. If it doesn't make any sense, then I've got some resources at the end. If you understand all of it, then I apologize. Take a break. But so we have this new phonics program. It's got 80 pages of worksheets, and we don't use the traditional CVC concept. Yeah, the CVC method. It's completely different, using the vocabulary they already know to kind of figure out phonics on their own. So what I did is I thought, I'm going to try and make sure that we can get some Google hits, some organic hits based on that. So I thought, okay, what are my keywords? Choose 3 or 4 keywords, and you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those keywords have to be in every one of those elements. And down here. And you've got to keep it the same structure, the same format, roughly. It's not pretty writing, it's not interesting, it's not creative. Your English teachers back home, or if you were in high school, they'd get really angry for this terrible, dry style of writing. But okay, so your URL, the www, should have the keywords. Your blog title should have the keywords. Your H1, so what does that even mean? When you write a website, you have different sizes for fonts. They have different indicators. H1, it tells Google this is very important. H2 is a subtitle. It says, hey, this is pretty important. So if you start writing with H2 subtitles, H2 block of text, H2 block of text, Google likes that. But there's a lot of, again, really small rules, like don't use H1 2 times. You can only have one H1. So anyway, do your homework, please. All right, so you've got a great product, you've got a great blog, you've got a great website. Now what? All right, now let's have fun with alternative marketing. What do you like to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to learn? Now just go out there and do it. And one thing I really want to stress, it's probably mentioned today, but give back to your community. If you're doing something to promote your community, to share with your community, they're going to see that and be like, wow, that's awesome, and it's going to come back to you tenfold. So in your community, promote something, fix something, help somebody, clean something, entertain someone. I'm going to be really vague because I'm running out of time. You can also team up with someone to give back to your community. So there's an independent bookstore in my town. We went to them and like, hey, can we do a book reading with you every month? And they're like, yeah. So it worked out really well for both of us. And anyway, yeah, share the wealth, man. So the reason we do this is because mass media eats it up. They love it. You have a really nice Santa Claus outfit. You have a Santa party every year. Why don't you go to a hospital and donate 50 presents to kids who are in the hospital for Christmas? I mean, this isn't why we're doing it. We do this. But things like that, give back to your community. Find ideas that really show your brand, show your personality, and that's going to be a really strong way to market your personality into your brand. All right, so I have just a few minutes, but I'm gonna go crazy with self-promotion. In 3, 2, 1. These are the things that I've done that have gotten me to where I am now. So my tax accountant, Zaydishi, he's a pilot. He says, Jeremy, do you want to fly? No, I hate flying. I'm gonna throw up in your plane. I threw up in his plane. But I took my camera and I got some really awesome pictures of Kagawa Prefecture. So I thought, hey, why don't I ask him to take me up for more flights, puke a few more times, and let's do a, a project. And I was like, well, why don't we do, an exhibition or a gallery? We ended up doing an 80-page book called My Little Kagawa of all aerial photos of our prefecture, and it was awesome. It was in the newspaper, and then that got us radio interviews, and then we're in magazines, and then I was on some TV show called Watashi ga Nippon ni Sumuriyo, and it's a 1-hour show just talking about me. So this guy is some super famous actor I've never seen, but I have met him. So again, I thought, okay, what else is popular in Kagawa? Udon! All right, well, that's just me goofing off. Made an udon costume. I made a poster, an English guide poster, how to order udon, what the different varieties are, some cool little culture about Kagawa. And again, boom, Japan Times, interview, TV, radio, news. We wrote an udon song just because we couldn't get enough of it. More TV, and more TV, more TV. And probably you know these people if you watch. I don't know anyone because I don't watch TV. So, I'm sure I have almost no time, but so maybe some questions you have. What skills did you start with? Again, nothing. A little photography. I had a little bit of Photoshop experience in Illustrator, but I really, I put the time in, I failed, I learned, I failed, I learned, and it goes a long way. People ask me, how do you find time? I teach 25 to 30 hours a week. I work on my days off. You gotta learn to work efficiently and learn efficiently. So again, our curriculum, we don't spend any time preparing lessons. We just tear out the worksheets from the book, we do our lessons. Any way you can find to save time, that's gonna be helpful. So make time, be efficient. And what should you take away from today's presentation? Well, hopefully I've given you some ideas about SEO and marketing and maybe alternative forms, but what are you going to learn? Hopefully you wrote something down. This year I want to pick up a few new skills that maybe I can apply, do some kind of alternative marketing. Is your product awesome? Is your website awesome? Is your blog awesome? If not, make it so. And then just think about how can you give back to your community. This is really going to be an effective way. I mean, it's given back to us. Tons and tons and tons. So, again, the last thing I want to say is that our curriculum is 100% free and you can get an additional 50% off. 50% off of 0 is 0, but no. If you are interested in getting a Bingo Bongo fun book today, then we ask that you fill out this little questionnaire at the bottom. And again, at the top, if you fill out this questionnaire, give it to us. I would love to compile the answers and put it on a site with today's presentation, today's slides, and make that public for everyone just to see what people think about stuff. All right, I apologize for going over, but thank you very much. Oh, can I ask, do I have time for a question? No? All right, so come see me.
We have a forum at the end. We'll have questions then.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Take care.